contrast to, let's say, for example, Calexico, you're going to have a lot more traffic. And so you probably wouldn't want to do Calexico School District first, because you kind of want to take it on a smaller scale and see what are going to be the problems, or the difficulties or challenges, and then alter the program and work your way up to the bigger schools or school districts.
Because if it's a success, that's when you can tell the other school and see they're doing it. This is the problems they've encountered.
Right, and the policies, what I'm thinking is they'll probably have to be specialized to each school district, because each school district probably has special transportation needs, transportation routes. They may not have parking for all the parents right on the site. So you would have to basically specialize a program for each school that you would go into. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
I've already shared some thoughts on. I've been thinking about the island thing too. It's so pervasive in the valley, and every time I turn around, there's another drive-through. And I've written Starbucks on this, although I never did get to the corporate level. They're building drive-throughs in an area where we have severe air pollution problems. So if you're going to approach it at a policy level, I think if you did start writing to corporate headquarters, you may get some responses. They may not be positive, but at least they would know that there's opposition to it. Starbucks, for instance, has a choice between park and go into the store or have a drive-through, and see what they construct here at partner with drive-throughs. So in some cases, you get a choice, but at least to be a voice heard that this is not what this community needs. And then I spoke with you too about the education side of it, of the Clean Air Initiative, or somebody producing something like air fresheners that you can hand out to people for them to put in their cars, and it would have a very simple anti-idling message on it. So it would stay in the automobile, and they would look at it. And if the parents don't read it, the kids will. And I really think it's important to educate the children, and then the children kind of work on the adults. And you can have maybe even a little image of clean air, tailpipe, or something like that, a cloud coming up. Artists are good at it.
One thing that I saw that other schools did to like remind parents is they gave all the kids keychains for their parents, and so it's always right there.
They wind up at cars too, yeah. So there are a lot of things you could do, I think. So,
Starbucks is a good idea, because if anybody would be more receptive to Starbucks than we would assume.
So you'd be talking to the school bus companies too, because they're phenomenal offenders.
Well, there's a law passed in 2006, I think, that it made it, and idling school buses is no longer allowed.
Oh, good.
So I think if they're there for more than 3 minutes or something like that. Is it 30 seconds? Yeah, if you're there for, so that has been done on the statewide level. And so now local school districts are adopting, district-wide policies to have their parents do the same thing. I've seen it in various states in the United States.
Has that trickled down to the drivers? Bus drivers in the valley? I mean, are they aware of that?
They should know. I don't know.
The program is called the School Bus Idling Program.
Really?
And the school bus is good when they about to get the kids and drop off the kids not supposed to be off for 30 seconds. The same thing we're implementing with the cars. When you drop off your child at school, make sure you park, turn off your car. Get on as soon as 30 seconds and take off. You don't want the car, like say because of the AC, it's not going to turn a lot of emissions out. So we don't want that. We could deal with about, 1 minute?
Right.
It's time for the kid to get on and get off the car. So 30 seconds is the timeline that we have.
For the buses.
For the buses
And the cars. So there's already a policy for the cars?
Yes, it's not 100% enforced yet. We're working on that.
Okay.
The program is in.
Okay, so with that, even if we know that there is a program there, maybe the Clean Air Initiative could take the next step and help with the enforcement or the education of the teachers. Because just my knowledge of it, I just thought it was just for buses. And so it's for the cars as well. Okay. So the policy's already written there. So it's just basically working with the school districts.
Dissemination.
And maybe some kind of, what would you say? Yeah, implementation. So that would be, in a sense, policy as well, because they would have to write down their implementation process within the school. So that's even better because we have the law on our side right there. We don't have to say, well, will you volunteer? So,
How new is this?
Around 2003.
Frankly, I do a little bit, a dabble in air issues since the first I've heard of this. Yeah, and I read a good bit about air stuff, and I've never seen it. I'm sorry.
so that includes cars as well, which is great. So maybe the step for us here would be to basically disseminate that information, work with the school districts and educating them and the parents, and then also do the education part with the kids and the parents, with the air fresheners, with the heat changes or what have you, and working on that part.
Would a good start be make a flyer with the information, websites, local contact information for us, and then send each flyer out, or one flyer to each school, and then whoever responds, that's first school to work with.
Well, with schools, what I've seen is you need to be persistent and go in person because they have so many things they have to do that will get lost in their paperwork. And so I think just go with the schools that you've already built a relationship with. Like that's why I say Heber. Sealy is another one because they have an on-site asthma program. So they and Raul Navarro, he's a part of this coalition as well. He's been pretty active before the past. And maybe it's something that he as a coalition member would want to take the initiative when you're there at that school. And then you said you have your contacts with Calapat School District. And so from there I think we can as a group with our own contacts and some of you may have kids that go to certain schools and as a parent you can make your contacts there as well. It's more preferable that the parents actually within each school site take the initiative because it's not like something from the outside is telling them what to do. It's internal.
Schools have school site councils of parents and teachers and staff. Some are more active than others, but that might be a good group to work with.
Yeah, definitely. That was one idea that I was just been tossing around and stuff. And one of the things that these foundations are looking for more and more, which I'm finding out from the ALA grant writer, is they're looking for logic models. And logic models are like flow charts. And how are you going to execute your plan type of thing? And so, like, I made a really quick one last night after sleep. It's like, I felt like one of those kids who told their parents the night before, oh, my science project's due tomorrow. So I made a really quick one with the, and I write really small, and this is actually the largest I could get myself to write, so I'm a small writer. But with the main things that you have in a logic model, you have your inputs and resources, okay? And then you have your activities, your outputs, and then you have your short-term and long-term effects. And so if we were to do something with and some of these suggestions have already been made, and we could add it to this. So our inputs and resources, one would be us as people, our resources, right? So coalition members, the coordinator, we need to get parents and volunteers involved. And we can also utilize P-TRAC data because some P-TRAC data has already been gathered from Heber School, and we presented that data to the principal already. And he was really interested in seeing the graphs and everything, and he was convinced. He sounded like he wanted to implement the program, but we approached him towards the end of the year when they were having their testing. So they had a lot of graduation, they had a lot of things going on, and he's like, can you talk to me next year about it? So it sounded like he did want to do it, and now, as we know, it is the law, so we can help with implementation. Another thing as well that we could probably help with as a coalition is to get, those little metal signs